Well, we're going to try and find out what we have hiding in the weeds here. Well, should be able to make it out. It's a caterpillar underneath all the vines. The vine really took over this year. Oddly enough, 25 to 30 years ago, I was digging stuff out of the overgrowth in the vines over by Alan Rudolph's. And my place is all bare. And now I'm digging stuff out of overgrowth and vines on my own property. The years go by in a hurry. Well, here's my D4. I actually started on this project a few days ago, and I made the mistake of running the D4 out of fuel, and I had quite a time getting it to bleed. I put in some new filters. I tried the usual bleeding here on the filter housing, bleeding here on the filter housing, and loosening the bleeders on the injectors, and it just didn't want to bleed. I wound up clamping a piece of inner tube over the fuel tank filler and pressurized the fuel tank. And then I proceeded to bleed here and here, and fuel was coming out, and it still didn't want to come out with the injectors. And if you see that grease fitting I use as a pipe plug, that's where the fuel pressure gauge is supposed to hook up. My fuel pressure gauge leaks, and I just used a grease fitting a couple years ago for a plug. And I ended up screwing that out and bleeding there and tightening it up. And then finally it started to come at the injectors, and then I finally got it running. So I tell you, from now on I'm always going to make sure I check the fuel before I start them up. I don't want to go through that again. I mean, over the years I've done it many times with Caterpillars, but if you can avoid it, it's just a better deal. So I'm going to get this going now. You see I use a generator starter from Cub Cadet Mare. I put a back on it to start the pony motor. So I'm going to get it going. friend Alan used to always say, we don't ask if we tell it. Now we know I quit rolling. Hopefully I'll get lucky and pull it backwards, and maybe it'll go back on. Because I gotta get it back on, because it'd be the easiest way to load it for the guy who's buying it if it rolls. truck. And it's coming off again. I think once I get it straightened out from it, it's okay. I'm glad I stopped. Well, here it is. I got the track all back on now. Hopefully it'll stay on now that it's on the loose dirt. We only got to move a little bit more to get it in the spot where we can load it. As you can see, this tractor, they had put a flywheel and ring gear on an output shaft on the back so they could put an electric starter on it, which was all homemade. And they had built mounts for a blade, and to raise a hydraulic blade. I don't have the blade for it. So instead of a crank on the front, that's probably where they drove the hydraulic pump. And it isn't the original mag, and you see there was a pulley added between the mag and the water pump, because I'm sure that pulley wasn't original. They probably had that to run a generator, seeing they had electric start on it. So thanks once again for watching. I'll do another video when we're loading it.